Sports fans, ASMR Sports. Back to you today with a pricing lookup video. My last video, I did a PSA order reveal of some modern cards, including a lot of stuff from like the 80s and the 90s. And yeah, suffice to say, I was not too happy with the results, but I think the consensus among people who grade that era of stuff is that, you know, population control by PSA makes it very, very difficult to get strong grades out of that era. So it's funny, you know, as I was thinking about that order, like, you know, it was mostly older cards, like 80s, 90s. But, you know, I did have a good handful of 2017 cards in there that had Tatis, Acuna, and a few others. And I feel like the gem rate amongst the 2017 cards was probably like, you know, 80 or 90%, which is what I had come to kind of expect from my ultra-modern orders, you know, which are 2018 and newer. So I really think that, and you know, I doubt there's anybody who would disagree with this, who grades this kind of stuff, which I don't grade a lot of it, but you know, I know there are some subscribers to my channel who do. But yeah, I mean, the consensus is just that PSA is just impossible to get, you know, fair treatment out of when it comes to any of the, you know, cards from the 80s and 90s, for which PSA 10s are particularly valuable. They're protecting the population of 10s that exist, and they don't want to add to that. I don't know, it's kind of just sort of random. I mean, some cards like the 2018 Topps update, Soto and Acuna cards, you know, they'll basically give a 10 to like anything that comes in the door if it doesn't have a giant crease in it. And consequently, there are tons and tons of those, and they have very low value right now compared to where they've been in the past. But card like the 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card goes for, you know, still, even in this terrible sports card market. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say it's a very depressed sports card market compared to its, you know, highs of a year or so ago. But even now, that card goes for $2,500 in PSA 10, and that's because it's dang near impossible to get one from PSA, and that's not because they didn't make many millions of those cards, because they absolutely did, and it's not because they're particularly condition sensitive, because they have white borders, and, you know, they're on like non-glossy stock, so, you know, it should be relatively easy to get high grades on those. But PSA just doesn't give you good grades on those cards if you send them in, because they're trying to basically get people to be sending more and more of them and hoping to get a 10 when there's really no chance. So let's start with some grape gum. Anyways, enough about PSA politics. Let's get on to the focus here, and that's looking up cards. I also have these perfect fit sleeves, which I have available on hotcardbar.com for $2.49, and that's going to be the best deal you're going to find. So I'll be slapping these bad boys up, or not slapping, sleeving. These have the PSA labeling on them. All right. First up, we have a 1992 Stadium Club Magic Johnson, graded PSA 9, which is, you know, a lot higher than most of the stuff that came out of this order. Got a ton of 7s. mixed with static. Alright, here we go. Oops. 1992. Let's try the direct approach and search for this exact grade. So if you've seen me do one of these videos before, you know I have a pretty set system, and that's to, if it's a card that I think there's probably a fair number out there, I'll search for the exact card and PSA grade and not bother looking for anything that's not, the exact card and PSA grade. And that's what I've done here, but we also need to go to sold. Wow, this is so bad, you guys. So this is an example of a card that is literally worth a negative amount of money, because I spent $12 grading this card, and today the cheapest you could grade this card for is $30. And yet the most recent sale of this is $4.58 plus $4.65 shipping, so they call it a $9 card. So on June 4th, this card sold for $9.11, for slightly less in shipping. And if you go back to May, you got some kind of right around there too, about $15. So this card's worth nothing and dropping fast. So yeah, and again, this is one of the higher graded cards out of this group that I got back recently from PSA. So does not bode well. All right, I suspect this is going to be a very similar experience with this Larry Bird 91 Fleer. Both these 91 Fleer and Stadium Club cards are very common and very overproduced. So you kind of have to get a 10 for them to be worth anything. And honestly, if it's not Michael Jordan or like a Shaquille O'Neal rookie, stuff from this era is just pretty much worthless, even as a 10 sometimes. Like, let's see what this Magic Johnson went for in a 10 recently. Wow. Yeah, the market is really, really bad right now, you guys. Look at this, May 23rd, a 10 sold for $124. Today, June 2nd, sells for $26 shipped. And May 26th, it had sold for $41, so things are dropping, and they're dropping fast, folks. Let's take a look at this. Larry Bird. I suspect this is going to be another under $10 card. Okay, well, the news is a little bit better here. Wait a minute, what's going on here? What is this? No, this is Tony's Pizza. This is a sort of like a, I don't know what you call it. I mean, it's a different set, basically, but it's a parallel. Anyway, June 14th, this was 4 days ago. Sold for $18 plus $6 shipping, so this one actually might, stand a chance, but then there's some from, 5 days ago where it's selling for $7.39 plus $4 shipping, so it's kind of a little bit difficult to tell, but there's some hope, at least, that this is maybe a $15 card. They could save the $12 it costs to grade it. So that's better than the Stadium Club. Alright, here's an 89 Fleer Magic, but it's unfortunately a near mint 7, so not sure where this is gonna come out, but I suspect it's probably gonna maybe where these. Oh wow, it's bad. It's really bad. So this is about worth nothing, or negative amount of money if you are dumb enough to pay to grade it like I was. Here's one back in June 2nd, sold for $10 free shipping. that's like a $6 card. But the most recent one that's coming up, I think, here is the $4.25 plus $4 shipping, so it's an $8 card. So that's a sad story. Yeah, really, really pretty horrible. Just gonna stack these, I think. Alright, well, here's some baseball. This is a Christian Yelich rookie here. And funny, I had said I didn't really know like how he's doing. Let's see if they're playing today. The Yankees here beat Toronto 4-0 today for their 9th win in a row. They are seemingly impossible to beat, it seems. See, Tampa Bay finally won. They lost a couple in a row to the Orioles. Let's see, Milwaukee is, there they are. Oh, look at that, they won. Let's go and see if, oh, okay, what the hell? Oh boy, now I gotta go back. Did it come back? No, it did not. You want to talk about god-awful design? Here you go. Let's go to the wrap. So unfortunately, it's air conditioning. It's officially air conditioning season. Today's the first day I've turned on the air conditioning this summer. So we got that noise to contend with. So Yelich is batting 242. He did have 2 hits today, which is nice. 7 home runs, 244 at bats. So it looks like he's been playing. He hasn't been injured, but OPS of 706 is not quite what you'd hope for in your life if you're Christian Yelich. But anyways, so yeah, he's kind of having a down year. And I have a PSA 9 rookie card of his. So here's a sale from a couple days ago, $12 plus $4.75 shipping. And here's one the day before, $16 plus $4.75 shipping. I honestly wonder, you know, it's difficult to extrapolate because these auction listings can vary quite a bit, you know, from auction to auction, even if they only differ by a day or even hours within a day. But, you know, I've noticed a trend of, like, you know, if you look at something 4 days ago, or this is 3 days ago, this is 2 days ago, like, it's dropped like 30%, 20%. But then, you know, you have this example, which sort of kind of blows the theory, right? So it's just sort of whoever happens to be bidding on that. But I kind of wondered if we'd see, like, a lot of cards, you know, have values that are significantly lower 2 days after, you know, the previous card was sold. But I don't think that's at least the case here. But you sort of wonder how fast the market is dropping, because I don't know, it just seems like every day, you know, there was, last week there was a hike of interest rates by the Fed. I don't know if anybody of you, if I have to explain any of this for anybody, but basically the Federal Reserve Bank, you know, sets the prime interest rate that essentially determines the rates that banks and lots of other financial organizations charge for loans. And you know, rates have been low for many, many years. Basically, like since the 2008, you know, crash of the economy, and has had a certain impact on the economy and on the markets. I don't know if I want to eat that, but yeah, now we're in a situation where inflation is, depending on who you ask, coming at us. Well, okay. The reasons for the inflation are what I think depend on who you ask, but inflation, everyone agrees, is here, and it's probably here for, a significant period of time, but one way to combat inflation within the realm of powers of the Federal Reserve Bank and the government generally is to, adjust the prime rate of interest, and that's what they're doing. So they hiked it like basically 75 basis points, which is, 3/4 of a percentage point, which is a very large increase. It's like the biggest one in like, I don't know, a couple of decades, I think. So anyways, that's had some impact on the market because, people don't like, the markets don't like high interest rates. It kind of seizes up a lot of the wheels that make the economy function, and that can be, a good thing if you have inflation, but a bad thing if you have lots of stocks that you want to see maintain their value. Okay, anyways, enough of that armchair economics there. So this is, this is another card that has dropped significantly just because, I guess I gotta search for all rookies. Shaq stuff kind of went on fire after people got bored of pumping up Jordan stuff, and alright, so this one is another one that's probably right around the cost of grading. Here's the most, this is a 9, this is a 7, this 7 sold for $11.50 plus $1.76 shipping, so it would cost, $4 to ship this to somebody in a padded mailer, and so again, you're underwater if you spend $12 as I did. But there's what you're shooting for, is the PSA 10, sold for $200 earlier this month. Another one from early June sold for almost $200, and this one from June 1st sold for $225. So that's pretty much the one you're shooting for. Looks like 9s are about $30, so would have been great to have a 9, but we didn't even get an 8, so yuck. This is one that's a thick card, so it's not going to fit in the sleeves I have here. I'm going to have to get some bigger sleeves for that one, but let's go ahead and look it up, shall we? Just going to search for Marquee. This one's a 9, which is not a horrible grade for a card that's fairly old compared to like 2017. So here we go. This card right here is the same card, same grade, $51 in May, but that would have been, I think that was back when the Jimmy Buckets was still in the playoffs, but I can't remember timeline very well, so I'm gonna assume that that's probably not worth, now what it was then. Here's one from earlier in May that sold for $24.50, same grade as mine. So yeah, I don't know, this is probably a $25, $30 card, I would guess. But anything that gets above $12 is a win. I think, alright, next card up. Josie Canseco. I used to like to say Josie when I was a kid. But I got a couple of these and I want to see if I could, yeah, there's the other one. so both sevens. Yeah, both sevens. We got a pair of sevens. Let's look those up together. And these grades are just atrocious. I mean, there's no effing way these things are perfectly centered. The corners are just fine. Yeah, so here's a couple from within the last week. One was $21 plus $4 shipping. One was $25 plus $4.75 shipping. So call that $30. Again, you know, it's the difference in a few days because, well, this is a best offer. So those generally are going to get higher prices because, you know, the seller can hold out for the price they're wanting for their card. Anyways, here's $18 plus $3.50 shipping from June 3rd. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a $20. These are $20 cards. So I guess you could call those slight wins. Yeah, so far that Jimmy Butler is the only thing, honestly, that's, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, if a card's worth $20 and you spent $12 grading it, you know, would you have still sent it in, knowing what you know? I guess it depends on how much you value your time, you know? But, you know, you can't really know what things are going to grade as, although I think you can safely assume if you're grading modern stuff like this, and it's before like 2000, I don't know, 12 or 10, well, let's just say if it's the 80s or 90s, you're going to get rocked on that frickin' thing. That's what's going to happen. So I'm curious about this one. Oops. I feel like this guy is, well, it's not a good sign that his, blue wave, but a blue wave, so a numbered auto PSA 10 is selling for $157. What in God's name could a base card be possibly going for? Here's a refractor of the same card I'm looking up. It's PSA 10 for $16. So, and here's a refractor with 8 face. So basically, this card. Yeah, here we go. Here's the first one. $5.50 plus $3 in shipping. So this is a money loser. Yeah. So it's about a $6 or $7 card that I spent $12 grading. And you know, again, back when I sent these in a year or so ago, he was, you know, one of the very top pitching prospects. I think he might be injured right now. I feel like all the pitching prospects are injured, it seems. But yeah, back when I sent these in, you know, the market was kind of at all-time highs, and you know, pretty much a PSA 10 of any, you know, decent prospect, even a pitcher, in their first Bowman card, you know, Chrome card, it was going to be a $30, $40, sometimes $50, $60 card, you know. So you know, it made a lot of sense to send in things that you think were a 10, but unfortunately the market did not sustain. And now I have a card that's worth $6 that I spent $10 grading. Yay me. So here we have a 87 Topps. Alright, well, another money loser. You know, these auctioned ones are certainly the ones that get hammered the most. This one was basically $14.50 with shipping from just yesterday. It ended. Here's a best offer. Sold for $18.49 plus shipping, so a little bit more. And here's one for, you know, an auction that went a few days, 4 days ago, for about like $12 shipped. So yeah, this is a money loser. And unfortunately, I have a bunch of PSA 7s of the same card too. Even though these are all, well, okay, this one's not greatly centered top to bottom. I will admit that now, but it should be, frankly, a 9. Because everything else is perfect. Alright, these I actually looked up. These 84s. Because I was really curious. And basically the Dickerson, well, okay, I didn't look up the Dickerson, I looked at the Elway. And the Merino, and they were like $70 or so, which in PSA 7s, which is what I have, which is, pretty good. I probably paid like, I don't know, $15 for these cards a million years ago. Oh wow, Dickerson is not worth nearly as much. Dang near a money loser. Oh yeah, it is a money loser. Look at that. $10.50. So wow, it's about a break even. Although here's one, it's like $16.50 shipped. So that would be a loser after fees. But basically, we'll call it break even for Dickerson. Yeah, there was a time when, well, I don't know. I guess his rookie card has always been significantly lower than Elway and Merino from this set. So probably shouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, this one's one that I didn't really expect much on. And let's see, PSA 6 go for, oh wow, look, they don't even have PSA 6. Oh, there's one for $8.50. So this is another money loser. This is actually the same card from May 9th, selling for like twice as much. So, yeah, market's kind of weird. Kind of weird right now. But here's an 8, which is 2 grades higher, selling for $13.50. So it's safe to assume this card is probably worth less than the cost of grading. But I'll probably just kind of hang on to that one, since I like Marcus Allen. This is one of the ones that probably pisses me off more than most, just because this card is in gorgeous condition. And it does have a little bit of centering left-right, but it's easily an 8 and should have been a 9. But it comes back a 7, which is just complete nonsense. Wow, look at this, $7 shipped. That's unbelievable. That's June 11th. Interesting. And this one is off-center, in case you were wondering. Which means it has an OC, which is like freaking crazy. It has an OC, because it's not that off-center. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is a break-even. It's a barely break-even card, I think, is what this one is. Man, look at that. Like a mint 9 goes for $30. Jesus. So, I didn't really lose that much by not getting a 9. But still, I mean, it's the principle of the matter that they're just making stuff up. They're pulling it out of their butts. Most of the grades on I won't say they do that for all cards, but definitely for 80s, 90s, they have no idea what they're doing at PSA, and, what am I going to do about it except just not send them stuff, which is, exactly what I will do. Or won't do, I should say. Here we go, 1978, Topps, Walt Frazier, PSA 7. Oops, I searched for 1878, that would be a tough one, huh? Alright, well, there's a 7 that's all in May for $25, and it's interesting because I feel like one of the only like kind of hot areas of the hobby right now is vintage, especially vintage baseball, and I haven't really looked at like vintage football and basketball, but I think they've been going up a little bit slower than baseball, but baseball has really been on fire. And I kind of wondered, you know, I mean, this card is arguably vintage, right? I mean, pretty much anything before 1980 is vintage these days. And I wondered if, you know, these 78s might possibly be up, but I don't know. You know, I've been watching them, so I don't know if what we see here today is lower or higher than what we would have seen, you know, weeks ago or months ago. But anyways, here's the card I have. So last sold in May for $25. So would it be worth more now? You know, a month and 2 weeks later, I don't know. Here's one from April. This is an EX5, so that's not really a comp. But yeah, interesting. Now here's where, when the last sale of this card was May 1st, I might go and look at you know, the still the pending or for sale items and see what I see. And just not a lot. So I mean, you know, probably a good sign. Here's someone who's got an 8 listed for $39. I don't know what to take from that, really. Yeah, I don't know. I would just say this tells me that this card is not particularly there's not a lot of these out there. It's fairly rare in this particular grade, which is not, you know, 8's not or 7's not a horrible grade for a card from 78. I also have a PSA 8 of this exact card somewhere else, and I'm going to try to grab that. Yeah, here it is. So I can keep it together. Here's the 8. So I think I would have seen an 8 come up in my searching. And I recall there wasn't really anything. Yeah, so there's like the 5 that sold back in April, but so yeah, real tough to figure this one out. But I don't know, maybe, knock on wood, the 8 is like a $40 card and the 7 is like a $30 card. If that were true, you know, that would be certainly a good result for the $12 greeting. Cause this one I'm interested to see. Again, this is a first Bowman Chrome of Tatis. In a 9, and I had another one of these that was a 6, which is atrocious. So here you go. Here's kind of this wacky phenomenon where you have one on June 17th sell, you know, for a best offer, but this was not one that was sold for the best offer price. It was just sold for the fixed price that it was listed at for $160, and then a day later you have one ending at auction for under $100. So it's like, what's the value of this card? I mean, here's another one from 2 days ago. Auction sold for $95, $92. So I mean, I think this is safe to say it's a, you know, $95 to $100 card in PSA 9. Here's some older ones for $83, $93. So, you know, maybe this is one that's kind of trending up. You know, Tatis is injured right now, but I think he's expected back sometime this month, maybe early next month. So I think there's some anticipation with a guy like Tatis, you know, who certainly has the capability of coming in and, like, you know, going on a home run streak. I'm gonna quickly look if I can see if I can find the PSA 6 one of that guy, but it's not right by it, I can tell you that. I did get a lot of response. Oh, actually, okay, it was a 7, not a 6. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of difference with a fairly modern card like this. Pretty much if you're not a 9, you're garbage. Weird. As you can see, nothing's coming up here. Why in the heck? Weird. All I see are the international prospects. Huh, why? Why are they showing me the international prospect ones? That makes no sense. Strange. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about this card. It's probably, let's see, so the PSA 9 is about a $100 card. A PSA 7 is probably a $20 card, I would guess. Something like that. That's one of the ones that's probably break even, but hard to say because there's not a lot of comps I could find out there. Okay. So I think this one will be semi-decent. This, Hall of Famer, rookie card, and near mint 7 for a, late 70s card is not awful for a grade. So I would expect this one to have some value. Now we're looking at for sale, so we want to go back into sold. And yeah, I mean, not bad at all. $120 listing from yesterday, $102 listing from the day before, $122 from the day before. So yeah, this is definitely one of the big winners. And this card, I probably paid, I don't know, $15, $20 for, like 15 years ago or something like that. There was a time, it's funny, I don't know if I ever talked about this, but, basically when I wasn't really actively collecting, well, maybe I was. I'm trying to think when this was. I feel like it was like before 2017 when I kind of really got into modern stuff again for the first time in many, many years. And it was like, after the time when I started collecting like pre-war vintage. I got into pre-war vintage, which is, like 1900, early 1900 stuff, like Ty Cobb cards, Cy Young cards, the Babe Ruth stuff. I got into that stuff like when I was kind of just starting my career. I was living out in Boston. I was making a good salary, and I don't know. It sort of started to appeal to me to, buy these cards of these like legends that you only hear of, like when you hear of like the Cy Young Award. I'm like, how could those things, which are like kind of pieces of history, not be good things to invest in? And they're super fun to have in hand and to look at. And so I bought up a bunch of, Ty Cobbs and Cy Youngs and so miscellaneous, like Hal Chase cards. He was an old Yankee player from the early 1900s. Eddie Mathewson, guys like that. So I bought up a bunch of their cards. This was probably in around 2005, I think I did that. And unfortunately I sold off a lot of that stuff in like 2013 because I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know, it was time. And I should not have sold any of it because it was all worth, way more now than back in 2013. But luckily I did buy a bunch more in like 2017. So I have, a lot of Ty Cobbs and stuff like that. But anyways, at some point, like after 2005, I sort of said to myself, you know what, I should just buy like rookie cards of Hall of Famers of everybody, all sports. And I did that a little bit, but not a lot. I should have done a lot of it. And I got a cream rookie card in like PSA 6, and I sold it for like twice what I bought it for or something, and then it skyrocketed, in 2019 and 2020. But anyways, around that time is when I picked up this Ozzie Smith. I picked up a bunch of like Dave Winfield rookie cards. I picked up those 84 Topps football rookies and lots of stuff like that. And some of it was raw, and I've had it, raw. I'm gonna do a pile of like, $100 plus cards, which you can't see. Sorry. So yeah, I bought a lot of these kind of rookie Hall of Fame rookie cards for pretty small money, and to have them grade anywhere like 6, 7, 8 is a pretty big win, as shown by the Ozzie Smith rookie card there. That's $100 or so card in a PSA 7. So that's a cool one, cool outcome for me. I don't think this one is really going to be worth much, but probably like a $20 card. Yeah, so let's see, June 5th was the last sale, $22 plus 5 shipping, so $27 card. Here's the same card, for 17, so it's like a $15 to $20 card, I would say. Which is like a slight profit on the $12 grading fee. And this is probably one I pulled from a pack. Like at some point I bought some packs of 82 and 81 and 84 and stuff, and opened a bunch of it. Well, I'm not even gonna look this one up because the PSA 9 was like a $8 card, $6 card. So this one is a trash bin. Oh yeah, so I was about to say something which I didn't complete the thought on, which is that when I posted the video of me, going through these cards for the first time, I think this is a rookie of Jack Sigma, yeah. I was saying that a lot of these cards are worthless, and I didn't literally mean that they were worthless, but I mean that they're worth less than $12, which is what I paid to ship, or paid to grade them. And a lot of people are like, oh well, don't throw them away, send them to me. And I don't want anybody to think I would actually throw these away, other than the ones I break open and rip up into pieces for cheap thrills on a YouTube video. But yeah, I mean, the ones that are worth $5, $6, $7, I will find something to do. I'm not going to just throw them away. Obviously, they have some value, and I'd like to figure out something to do with them that can recoup as much of my $12 grading fee as possible. Sorry for that. So text message coming in. Yeah, I'm not gonna throw things away. Don't worry about that. A lot of these, I don't know, $5, $6 ones would be good if I wanted to have like a $5 price point in my guaranteed value packs. Because like this Jack Sigma is worth $3.50 plus 5 shipping, so it's like $8.50 card, and I could put it in a $5 value pack, and somebody would probably be pretty happy to get it if it were like a vintage card pack. But like, here's one for 17 plus 4. Here's one for 25 plus 5 from May 28th. So yeah, kind of wacky variance there, but it's kind of how these lower price cards go, I think. It's just like if somebody needs it for a set or something, then they'll pay for it. They'll pay high for it. Here's one that's kind of, so many cards in here really have to be PSA 10s to have any real value. Which is to say a value, when it's like $20 or higher, we'll say. So this one's going to be probably an $8 card, I would imagine. Yeah, 9 plus 4, 8 plus 4, 6 plus 4, so it's right around kind of the cost of grading in mint condition. And I would suspect like the PSA 10s of this card have dropped substantially in the year that this order has been sitting and grading. So $20 card plus 6 shipping, 13 plus 4, 12 plus 4. So yeah, $15 to $20 card. It's it's gonna make me back my grading fees. Hopefully, if it sells. All right, same set, Mario Lemieux. I would bet this is gonna be worth $15. If Gretzky's worth 20 to 25, and look at that, 15 plus 5. That's from April. This is 11 plus 4 from April. So yeah, not a lot of sales. So he's maybe a break-even card. So Brian Leach rookie card. Unfortunately, it's PSA 7 instead of an 8. So it's probably going to be worth $0. Yeah. 2 plus 5, 4 plus 4. So it's this, $5 to $8 card. Here's one from April. No, that's a 9. So yeah, it's a $5 to $8 card, which is a money loser on the price of grading. Thank you very much, PSA. Well, there's world champ Klay Thompson. I hope there are a few Californian basketball fans that, or some San Francisco basketball fans, I should say, appreciated the outcome, but I did not. I think the Warriors have got to be the most boring effing team on earth, and I think Steph Curry is just like the most boring star player. I don't find heaving threes from, like the frickin' logo to be particularly interesting. Although, let's be fair, if Luka Doncic did that, I would probably find it pretty interesting. But Steph Curry he reminds me of that like kind of cocky, he's good, but his ego is much like bigger than his I think his let's see, entertainment value, I'll say, or hobby value, you could say. I just don't think a lot of people like or collect Steph Curry cards because he's not. I don't know. He's kind of a showboat. Like his sort of tongue wagging and is chewing on his mouth guard all the time. It's just like super annoying. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't think it's just me though. I think a lot of people find him super annoying. But I mean, he's not like that in your face. He's just sort of like, oh man, what a freaking showboat this guy is. Anyways, I'm happy for Jordan Poole. I've got a few decent Jordan Poole cards, so. But I bring that up because we got Klay Thompson here. God, this is gonna be like such a weird. I'm gonna search for PSA because I mean this is like, first of all, you just don't see many of these 2014 Excalibur cards. Second of all, this is a parallel within that set, so like the odds of finding a comp are very, very low. I don't think I see a single example of like any version of this. Okay, there's weird. So here's somebody selling a lot of cards that include one of like the variations. Looks like a die cut variation of this card. This is just weird. I don't know. If I were smart, I'd probably like sell this ASAP though, because like when guys win championships, that's sort of the best time to sell their stuff, because interest in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson cards are gonna go down very quickly as everyone forgets about basketball in the coming weeks or days, really. Yeah, so this is a kind of a mystery one. Who knows? Graded fairly well at a 9, but There's a blue ungraded that's at 99 cents right now, but it's got 3 days left. So yeah, really hard to say what the value might be on this one. I don't know what it might be, 30, 40 bucks, I guess, on a good day. But and here's the card nobody wants right now. Ben Simmons. Oh man. And you know, like base rookie cards of basketball players are definitely one of the hardest to hit areas of the hobby. So this is definitely not the card you want right now. I see I'm in unsold listings or for sale listings, so let's go look at sold. See if anybody has sold this card recently. Well, not too bad. May 28th, 25 bucks. May 25th, $20. So yeah, you know what? I'll make back my grading cost on this one. So that's good. I mean, you know, Ben Simmons is such a force of nature for so many years that you got to think if he gets his act together, he could really be, you know, kind of a comeback player of the year. And he's obviously on a team that has a lot of talent in the you know, Brooklyn Nets. So I think some, you know, kind of like Zion Williamson, you know, I think his stuff is starting to go up a little bit, or at least get a little more interest in the hobby, because, you know, he had the whole year off last year, and probably, I think, is supposed to be back, you know, at the beginning of the season this coming year. And the Pelicans did really well without him, and he's, you know, such a amazing talent that if he gets, you know, if he's healthy, I think his stuff is going to go up, and I think you're starting to see a lot of interest in that now. You could just as easily, you know, miss the first 3 months of the season and, you know, not come back in full force for 3 years. But that's kind of the gamble I think some people are really interested in taking. You guys seen that in football too a lot, where, you know, guys have had the year off for injury or whatever, but they're, you know, highly rated talents, and people just, you know, want to kind of put a flyer out on them and buy a few cards, and, you know, their value goes up. So anyways, not finding a ton of comps on this one. Here's April 25th, the raw version of this Dennis Smith rookie. I noticed this BGS 9 sold for $8.75 back in mid-May, and this would be, you know, worth a bit more than that, since BGS 9 is not a great grade compared to PSA 9. So I don't know, maybe this is a break-even card, like a $10, $12 card, $10 to $15 card, we'll call it. So I don't know, could be worse. I don't even know what Dennis Smith is up to these days, doesn't it? Okay, Nolan Ryan. I guess I should be grateful we got a 9 instead of a 7 on a card from the 80s. But I'm not. Because this card is perfect. Alright, so June 2nd is sold for 22 plus 4. April 27th it's sold for 30 plus 4. April 17th, 24 plus 5. So, you know, again, 9 is a pretty high grade, considering the PSA likes to give everything a 7 from this era. So, you know, these probably aren't super common, and, you know, I'll probably be able to sell that for 20 bucks. Get my grading fees back. So, Keston here, here's one of these guys that, let's go back and look at the, oops, where can I see the, I want to see what Keston here is. A good point, because, you know, Keston here, like, really impressed me his first few years. I felt like, you know, he was a pretty highly rated prospect, and when he broke onto the team, he did really well, and I feel like he had some, you know, good seasons. I don't know what he's up to this year, but his stuff is worth like less than nothing. So his OBP is not, or his OPS is 740, which is not like horrific. I think kind of 800 is where, you know, you start to say, okay, all right, this guy's doing something. 6 home runs, 205 average. So I don't know what's the deal. How come? I guess he's just sort of turning into kind of like an average. And you know, he's a first baseman. Looks like so. Like you know, that's a position where you really have to kick some butt offensively, or you just don't get any attention. But let's look at the career stats. So 19, he was hitting 303 with a 932 OPS. Then he kind of has struggled since then. So I guess I was, you know, misapprehending his offensive success here. He just has not been able to get kind of above water on his average. And I think like hitting for average was one of his tools when he came up. So yeah, boy, he's not gonna be around if he can't get above like 250 or 240, I should say. 250 is about, you know, kind of acceptable levels if you have some power in your game. But yeah, so he's just been kind of struggling. I think he's kind of turning into like, you know, somebody who's like average or slightly below average, and certainly for his position slightly below average offensively, which is not where you want to be. So I can see why his cards are not really valuable anymore. But I don't know, I still think he's got some good talent, and who knows when someone's going to come back. I'm going to predict this is like a $5 card. Well, 11 plus 4 from 2 days ago. It's actually pretty good. That's break-even money. Well, okay, it's not, because you got $4 shipping is the cost of shipping, and $11 plus the fees you pay on both this and the shipping would get you underwater. Here's kind of what I was expecting, like 3 plus 4, so it's like 8 total with these 25 and 65. So yeah, so this is about a $6 card, which is kind of what I was seeing with his other rookie cards, which I've got a stack of now that I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with. I'm probably gonna stop this video at about an hour, just FYI. I actually might go record some other videos because I've gotten quite a bit of stuff in recently, unopened stuff that I might want to take a crack at. This one, man, you get a PSA 7 of a 90/90 card and you're in trouble. But the great one, you know, is always collectible, we'll say that. Weird, why is this, did I misspell? I don't think so. Huh. I don't know why. Or are these higher graded? Yeah, so like, okay, so these are PSA 9s and they're going for like $10. So my Mirror 7 is going to be about a $5 card. But, you know, I tell you, I'd much rather have like a $5 PSA graded card of Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan or Joe Montana or, I don't know, like Derek Jeter, than like, you know, a $5 graded card of like Keston here, because this is just not going to be of interest to many people unless you're like a Brewers fan. You're kind of holding on to hope, but this card is going to be of interest to like a lot of people. So, you know, if you put both these up for $5, I bet the Gretzky sells way more quickly than the Keston, and so I'd rather have the Gretzky. So yeah, these are, I don't really want to spend a lot of time on these 91, because I think these are all just $5 cards. All right, 750 plus 4 and 550 plus, it's a 9. So yeah, the only recent comp is the basically 1250. So Magic, I'm gonna guess, you know, it's got this exact same value. Maybe a touch more because, you know, he's a bigger name than Akeem, but I'm not going to look him up. I'm going to assume that's probably a $5 to $7 card as well. Magic Skybox, yeah, I'm not going to look up that either. That's pretty much guaranteed to be a $5 to $7 card. Here's another one that I doubt I will find any comps, but let's try. Why did I mistype? Well, interestingly, there's the ungraded version of this card for $11. Sold from the end of May. So, I don't know, I'm guessing this is a $15 card in PSA 9. Maybe a $20 or $25 card on a good day. But, I guess someone selling one for sale is ungraded for $50. So, I could theoretically list mine for $50. See if there's any interest in it. Wonder if there's any watchers on this one. No watchers. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any Rodman collectors out there, but if there are, this is something that might show up in like a saved search or something, and then get some interest that way. All right, well, there's Chipper Jones rookie card. That 1992 Bowman set is kind of one of the classic early 90s sets in baseball, at least. It was relatively underproduced and has seen some high values to some of the better cards in it. Unfortunately, does not seem to be saving this one. Looking like this is probably a $10 card. Just kind of shocks me, actually. I don't know if that just means Chipper Jones doesn't have much of a following, or there's just too many of these cards that were graded, or what. Oh wow, I didn't even search for Bowman. So yeah, it's a $10 card plus $4, 13. So it's a $13, $14 card. Looks like all day long. Kind of surprised that that's so low. Very popular. Brave, played all his career with one team, and had a really great career. So kind of surprised that's so low, but that's the way it goes. All right, here's Cody Bellinger, 2016 Bowman. Not sure what this is gonna. Not sure how well he's done. Well, here's the exact card sold 6 or 8 days ago for 18 plus 4, $22. So at least I'll theoretically. There's a couple other examples, 17 plus 5 and 15 plus 5. So about $20 shipped for this card, and that's pretty close to what you need to break even. So many cards are break even or less. That I don't know. I think this. My guess would be, well, I don't know. The only thing that's saving me. I mean, if you separate this order into like the pre-2017 cards, or maybe we'll say pre-2016 cards, and the post-2016 cards, and you just like forget about the pre-2016 cards, you've got a pretty decent order. I mean, a ton of PSA 10s out of the 2017 Bowman stuff that had a lot of Tatis and Soto and Acuna, but like just all these early 90s, mid to late 80s cards are just total money losers, and I've got a stack here next to me that's like 25, 30 cards high, and most of them are $5 cards, so I've lost $7 at least on each of them, and that's tough to make up. So I just hadn't sent in any of these 80s ones, but I mean, This is how PSA makes their money, right? You send these cards in because you're like, oh wow, PSA 10, 86 Jose Canseco, that's probably a $100, $150 card, and look at my card, looks pretty dang sharp. It's perfectly centered. I pulled it from a pack, a couple years ago, and it went straight into a top loader. And why doesn't this have a shot at a 10? Well, I'll tell you why. Because PSA is a load of crap, is why. At least on the older cards, they are. Anthony Davis, God, man, his stuff has got to be like worth $0 now. I think I have one of these past present rookies, but I need to be looking for shattered here. Alright, well, there's a 9.5 BGS for $69 from May, and really not a whole lot of comps for this card. So again, the rarity may help in that if there's Anthony Davis or Lakers collectors out there, they may be looking for Anthony Davis cards. Here's a raw one that's sold for 90, or that's being listed for 90. Someone's got the BGS 9.5 graded cards for 500, which is ridiculous because didn't we actually see one of those? Yeah, this is that same card. It's signed for $69 and somebody's trying to sell for 500. This is an example of a listing that's probably been up since, the Lakers were good. Here's the exact card I have selling for $325, which I again still think is like Redocu high. So yeah, I don't know. This card might have some value. I'm gonna put it in my $100 pile. Just kind of remind myself what. Well, yeah, the 9.5 sold for $70, and a PSA 9 is gonna go for less than that. So I don't know. I can't in good conscience put it in my $100 pile. I think this one is, certainly gonna, be a winner in terms of being worth more than $12. But I think it's probably like a $40 card, so it's not gonna help that much. All right, this one I'm kind of interested to see. There was a time when any kind of base PSA 10 Mike Trout was like a $50 to $70 card. Now, that was a long time ago, friends. But Mike Trout is having a really good year this year, even though the Angels are doing the Angels things. But yeah, I just don't know. I kind of feel like this is going to be a $30 card. And I think that's actually like pretty good considering how low base cards are going for. Wow. Wow. Just no examples of this card. Well, here's one that sold for a best offer and it was listed at 50. Oh, here's a good. Yeah, here's a good comp. This is from 12 days ago, and it's $15.99 plus $4.70 shipping. Now, strangely, this is from the same day, and it goes for like half as much. So you figure that one out, because I cannot figure that one out. That is weird. So I guess this is either a $28 card or a $59 card, right? Depending on what the mood of people bidding in your auction, if you auction this. But I generally sell everything as fixed price. Here's one that I was kind of shocked to get a 10 on, but again, if it's not 80s or 90s, you got a pretty good shot at a 10, pretty much, on anything that's clean. Jimmy G rookie here. Now, I can only root for Jimmy so far because I'm waiting for Trey Lance to get his shot at quarterback of the 49ers. So, yeah, wow. Well, if he has a hot start to the season, I think this is going to be a card to hang on to, and that might be a $100 card pretty easily if he goes, what if the 49ers go like 4-0 to start the year or something like that. I mean, that's just kind of how football quarterback cards roll. But right now it's off season. $30 plus $5 card as of 3 days ago. $20 plus 4, so it's, $20 to $25 card, safe to say. Yeah, it's not too easy to find, at least for me, PSA 10 cards of quarterbacks that, are somewhat talented. So I'm happy to have that, to have found it and gotten that. Yeah, again, I mean, I'm never going to send in any 90s stuff, any late 80s stuff. I will send in, if I ever have any, like, vintage stuff, from, like, the 70s, like rookies and stuff, I'll definitely send that in. And actually, the one remaining order, I have with PSA is a vintage order, so it's a lot of, like, 60s and early 70s stuff. And it's actually, like, a ton of stuff I expect to get PSA 1s on, but it's cards for which a PSA 1 is perfectly fine, like, a Mickey Mantle card from the 60s or something. This one I expect to be worth about $4, because it's, really has to be a PSA 10 to have any value. Like $20 probably as a PSA 10, but I think there was, like, a moment where this was actually not a bad card in a PSA 10. It was maybe a $100 card. But yeah, here's an 8 for 10 plus $1 shipping, 5 plus, so it's a $10, shipped card. So it's definitely a money loser. Alright, I think I'm gonna do next card is gonna be the last one I do, but I might do another video of me looking up the rest. I'm just about halfway through this 100 card order. Alright, so this 1988 Fleer, Scottie Pippen, this has really dropped since its, height. For a lot of people, the documentary about Michael Jordan that was on ESPN, like, kind of at the start of the pandemic, was really the kickoff of, and that was, like, what was it, 2008, end of 2019, early 2020, was really the kickoff of the big boom of sports cards that has happened in the last few years. And Scottie Pippen stuff went along with Michael Jordan, not to nearly the heights, but definitely got a lot of boost from that energy and excitement around Michael Jordan cards from that late 2019, early 2020 period. And this card, even in PSA 8, was worth many hundreds of dollars, several hundreds of dollars. And that was about when I pulled this thing. But it's a very different time now, and I think Scottie Pippen stuff has really cratered. It's just gone way down. So, this is going to have some value because he's still, Scottie Pippen, one of the best, players around on a team that had amazing success. But yeah, so it's $66 as of yesterday, which, again, given what's happened in the rest of this order, not a bad result, but at one point this was probably a $300 or $400 card. Here's one from a few days ago that's 50 plus $5, so it's like a $50, $60 card. And some more 60-somethings. So, yeah, not terrible, but definitely not what it once was. I'm going to put this in I guess it's not a $100 pile, but it's the, worth a decent amount beyond break-even pile. And so I'll show you what that pile looks like from the first half. It's basically the PSA 9 Tatis, the Ozzie Smith rookie, and the Scottie Pippen, and the everything else pile. So is here. That plus these guys. So I don't know. I actually, when I thought about doing this video, I was thinking I should keep a little spreadsheet and actually see exactly how I made out. Which I suppose next video, but it's probably a little more work than I want to do. But in any event, there you go. There's a bunch of values on about half this order. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope everybody's doing well. I do hope to have some more videos coming out soon, get kind of back into a regular schedule and open up some newer stuff that's come out. Please swing on by hotcardboard.com and pick up some supplies or some cards if you're a collector, and I'd love to ship some things out to you. All right, we'll catch y'all later. You have a great one.